Alright, hello everyone. It's Aaron here, and I'm going to be bringing you another League of Legends commentary. We are going to be looking at a game that I played yesterday as Tristana, in which I felt I both played quite well and got rewarded for playing well. So I wanted to show you guys this game as an example of how to manage team fights in the mid game, which I felt was where I played particularly strongly this game, and we could talk about how my team enabled me to do that, and also to show off a bit, because as you'll see in this game I ended up getting pretty fed. This game was played yesterday live on my Twitch TV channel, so if you were there, shout outs to you for having witnessed this beautiful event, but you'll be hearing new commentary. I was going to post the original gameplay, which you can go check out on my Twitch TV channel, which is twitch.tv/Eteran, which features me commentating live as well as talking to Kulik, my duo partner, over the course of the game. I was going to post that as well to YouTube, but unfortunately there's music in the background, which violates YouTube's terms of service, so I can't post that. So you'll have to go to Twitch TV if you want to hear what I'm saying as I play the game, which is also worth doing. But what we're going to do right now is just look over the game in retrospect and kind of talk about plays I made and what I was thinking at the time and how I could have improved them and how things worked. So we're going to start right off. As you can see, we were able to first pick Malphite, which is always a nice first pick to have top lane, especially with teleport. Malphite post 6 provides a lot of global pressure with that teleport as well. He's very good against Caitlyn because he can initiate from a very long range, which counters Caitlyn's range, and also shuts down late game AD carries. So that's pretty great for us. I have been picking Tristana against Caitlyn a lot recently, and I will show you the playstyle that this supports. The idea is Caitlyn really wants to outpush and outlane bully her lane opponent, and against most champions can do that very, very well. But if you pick Tristana, you can max explosive shot and counter push and just sort of shove the lane backwards as far as possible. And if you outpush Caitlyn, it's actually, you tend to win lanes, and then your range scales better than her in the late game, so you actually tend to win the late game as well. Kulik, who plays top lane for my ranked team, is on support this game, so we are communicating over raid call as we're playing this game, and he is playing Taric, and then they are going to last pick a Nocturne, which is a pretty reasonable pick. It gives them a little bit more dive potential, it gives them a little bit more chance to actually get to me and Ziggs during this game. So I'm going to skip the load screen, and we're going to jump right into the beginning of the game, or most of the load screen. The reason that I chose Ignite is because I want to play this lane very aggressively. We're on blue side, which means we can take the double golems and get the blue side advantage. For the record, this game is played... We have just finished a series of 4 games that we played during Kulik's promotion series, and we just got him gold, which is pretty sweet. So he's now gold 5 going into this game, and I am sort of high gold 4 as we're entering this game. So that gives you an idea of the elos of the players involved. So what's going to happen in this game is I'm going to start by buying Longsword 2 pots, because I like that build in general. On AD carries, a lot of people have been going Doran Blade right now, which I have tried, and I still like the pots more. The amount of sustain that it gives you is higher, and I feel that the flat health from the Doran Blade doesn't actually help your laning that much. As you can see here, I will be tabbing out throughout the game to like set up music and turn on chat and stuff. We're just watching the recording on the Twitch TV channel, muted because of the music, so you'll be seeing the chat and things like that. Not many people were online watching the stream during this game, but later on, as I continued streaming, a bunch more people signed in, so there's like 6 people watching right now or something. So since our jungler has disconnected and reconnected, and League of Legends is a stupid game that tells people when someone reconnects on the other team could definitely consider invading us, as Malphite is pointing out right here. So that gives us pause a little bit. It makes us want to think maybe we shouldn't be doing these double golems. Also, just a thing to bear in mind is I am not currently controlling the camera. I'm controlling the camera, from my gameplay, because this is a recording. So if I want to talk about something in the other lane, I won't be able to move the camera for it, but you'll still be seeing my camera as I am actually playing the game. So we start by taking the double golems, and we just kite them around like this. Kulik runs gold seals, which means he's taking a little bit more damage than on most of the time, but he also has a regen pendant in his inventory. So he's able to, as you can see, I have selected his inventory. He has a regen pendant, so he's able to regenerate some of that health. So now the plan is to ward early and push aggressively using my early level and explosive shot to get myself level 2. As quickly as possible, and then we can force a fight with these guys. I actually should be pushing a little harder than I am here, and because Lee Sin disconnected, Kulik has to go help him with the lizard in order to get him off to a reasonable start. But that's actually okay, because since I got solo XP as well as all the golem XP, I hit level 2 very, very early, and we can engage in an early fight, which is exactly what we're going to do. So I jump in, they throw exhaust, we throw exhaust, but we also get flash and barrier for my ignite, and we win the trade. So we don't get a kill at level 2, but what we do get is 2 more summoner spells, or we get an additional summoner spell, right? Caitlyn used her barrier for my ignite, and she used her flash. As well, we get Lulu's exhaust traded for Tarek's exhaust. So now I'm up a flash as well as a bunch of damage. And because I have these potions, I can just pop the potions and sustain back up. I have a bit of a sore throat, so I'm going to be drinking water during this cast. So we are just doing trades. Tarek actually takes a bunch of poke damage there. We just went a little bit too far in, so he took a turret hit. But that's okay. We're still ahead in this lane, and we're going to be able to push things out. So now what we're doing is he's sitting back and getting experience, trying to hit level 3, while his regen pendant does work. I should not have tanked that Piltover Peacemaker there, but I did, and you can't do anything about that. But once he hits 3, he'll be able to heal himself, which will give us enough damage or enough health to engage in another fight. I don't want to walk up to Caitlyn when she has a headshot prepared, so I need to be, so like, you see I wait to go to attack minions until Caitlyn uses her headshot to attack that minion. So now we are, both of us are getting really antsy here, because these guys are pushing up, they're very, very low, we are stronger than them, and we know we can kill them. So we really want these kills, and we are thinking about it. Caitlyn gets out of position here, and we jump in, so I get to throw a jump. I get bleed damage. Here I make a bit of a mistake and decide to jump in. I actually probably could have got that kill just by walking in, auto-attacking her twice, and then flashing out. But it's still worth it, because I get a double kill, and the creeps are pushing very hard towards us, which means they're going to lose a lot of minions as long as we don't push. Here I'm thinking about buying a Bilgewater Cutlass to try to continue to snowball this lane, but I think better of it. And just pick up Vamp Scepter and a Doran Blade for sustain and a bit more health and damage. And I get a couple potions to keep things going. I'm also, as we play this game, talking to the chat, so answering questions and stuff, as I do on my stream. One of the best ways to get your questions answered by me is to come watch the stream, and I try to always respond to people as quickly as possible during games and stuff. It's what I like about live streaming, is the viewer interaction. Easier than in YouTube comments. So here, they send 3 bot as Tarek bases, which is an interesting play by them. Unfortunately, they aren't able to pressure me off the turret, so they don't really get anything for it, and I'm able to sit there attacking. So that's pretty good for me. I'm able to continue getting CS. I actually meant to take a point in Q at 4, but misclicked my W, so now I have 2 points in W, which isn't bad. Tristana is a champion where you can viably build basically any set of skills. You can max W, you can leave it at 1 point, you can get 2 points in E and leave it at 2. You can level up everything evenly. So Tristana actually has a number of viable builds, so misclicking my skills and not getting my second skill at level 4 is not the worst. Here we see Ziggs is getting chased around by Ryze. Ziggs has been losing his lane to Ryze pretty heavily. So I want to run all the way around the dragon pit so I can position myself here for cleanup. And then I just run in, flash, get the damage over time onto Ryze, and then I'm able to slow both of them. We see Nocturne coming in, so I back out, but Malphite has a brilliant teleport having just hit 6, and we are able to pick up a double kill. I get a rocket jump to go on the Lulu, but she flashes my slow, but a Malphite slow and a flash stun from Taric is going to pick us up a triple kill there off a brilliant Malphite teleport, and good baiting by Ziggs, and good responses by bottom lane. The important thing that I did in that fight is I worked my way around the dragon pit while Taric and Ziggs distracted them, so I could get up to Ryze, who was weak, without having to go through Caitlyn and Lulu. Then we snagged their blue, and Lee is back having been based that whole time, so we immediately make a play on dragon, knowing that Ryze is going to have to go back to mid because the lane is all pushed out, and their bot lane just died, so it will take them some time to get back here, which means that we should be able to pick up this dragon for free. Also, as I commented during the game, and still agree, I really like Ziggs' decision to rotate to top lane here while the 4 of us are bot lane. When you see a teleport, excuse me, when you see a teleport from your top lane, rotating there, or from any lane, rotating lanes helps your team recover so much from the potential lost experience. I don't want to lose my voice in the middle of this cast, so I'm going to try to pace myself, because this game actually does go fairly long. So at this point in the game, I'm already snowballed ahead from those 2 kills, and the assist and the blue buff. I have blue buff, which is very good on Tristana. It keeps your, it lets you cast more E's, and later in the game, blue buff and cooldown reduction is excellent for Tristana because your main steroid skill is on a very long cooldown, your Q. And that is a very powerful skill. Here I'm creep blocked by that one melee minion and not able to run into support, so we actually lose this trade pretty hard, and then we make a big error where I decide to engage anyways. With our burst, we are able to pick up the Caitlyn kill, but unfortunately we're not able to I wasn't able to survive there, so I die for Caitlyn. Taric picks up the kill, Caitlyn picks up the kill. Actually, I think Lulu picked up that kill. So each of the supports getting a kill. Kind of bad when I was 4-1 and I lost a spree for that. You shouldn't try to engage hard right after losing a trade. Malphite is not ahead in his lane because he spent so much time bot lane, so Cho'Gath was able to free farm a bit and get ahead. Cho'Gath built a Warden's Mail first, which against a primarily magic damage champion like Malphite makes very little sense to me. Not that these two are going to kill each other, but, you know, being all tank and no damage. But it's still, I'm not sure about rushing Warden's Mail against a magic damage lane. So here I'm back. I have a BF sword to Caitlyn's, just like Doran Blades and Vamp Scepter. So as soon as Taric gets back, we're going to want to force another fight, because I'm just very ahead in gold. A good Nocturne ult and Nocturne pressure top is able to get kills. I ping the missing there just to make sure that my team knows that Lulu's not down here. And then we're thinking maybe Lulu isn't down here, but there we see her coming back down. She has the blue buff that I fed her. We sent Kulik to ward this this ramp area because we noticed that Ziggs was not warding it, which was how people were getting in behind us. And it's so important to have that ward up when you're a bot lane. because if they can get into your red jungle for free like that, it makes it extraordinarily difficult for you to put pressure on the lanes, because anyone can be behind you at any time. Here we get a good stun, a good shatter, good ult. I'm thinking of going for the kill, and I do in fact jump in, go for the kill, make sure to cast my ult right after an auto attack. I jump away from Rise to reduce his damage, and then we get an exhaust to keep him from killing me, and then a Malphite ultimate. And there, because I picked that guy off, I got the reset and I'm able to jump away from Caitlyn, and then Kulix just stands in front of her for the ultimate while Malphite finishes her off. So brilliant play by my team, another excellent teleport from Malphite, and we're well on our way to snowballing me ahead. The main problem that we're having in this game right now is that Ziggs is getting crushed. Rise is very, very strong, and Ziggs is way behind and not able to push him out and punish him for roaming at all. Here I choose to put damage on Nocturne instead of on the turret, which may have been a mistake. I'm still actually not sure which was right. I thought I could do more damage to him, push him away, and then take the turret, but it turns out that I was not able to do that. So I'm going back to last hitting. Notice that because we've been fighting so much, my CS is abysmal. I have 64, and Caitlyn has even less than that. I can't bring up the CS tab right now, but I think she has around 50 at the moment, which is kind of where you want to be at this point in the game. Caitlyn relies on... Caitlyn never gets kills in the early game, and relies on out-farming and out-pushing her opponents in order to win. So if you shut down both lanes, even though Tristana is a Hypercarry, you still are better with no gold, with no farm, than Caitlyn is, because you have kill potential. You have the ability to get kills in lane, which Caitlyn really does not. And as it happens, I have gotten kills in lane and am way ahead of Caitlyn when we both have terrible CS. Not that that's an excuse for missing CS, but that you will tend to have much lower CS the more you're fighting. Also, because I killed Lulu, I have the blue buff back again, and should probably be abusing this more. So we're getting up wards. As you can see, Caitlyn's not able to outpush my explosive shot damage. So Tristana is, again, very good against Caitlyn in lane. With the amount of lifesteal that I have, I can pretty much leech up any harass that I take, so I don't mind doing that. And we're just going to keep pushing them into turret. We can poke them under turret with auto attacks, maybe some explosive shots, or just damage the turret. At a certain point here, I can't remember if it's right now or a little bit later, we start talking about how this is a lose-lose situation for them. Either they push out against, they try to push out against us, right? They try to fight my pushing. In which case we kill them because we're so much stronger than them, or push them out of lane just by picking fights if they're not under their turret, or they let us push in which case Caitlyn misses a lot of creeps under the turret, as well we get to eventually wear down the turret and take it. Here I'm giving up last hits just to keep damage on them, which is actually a totally fine decision. Not one that I normally make as an AD, but in this particular lane, and when I have 6 kills, it works really well. Because as you saw, Caitlyn did not get most of those last hits. Lulu actually got a bunch of them. They're trying to use their Lulu Q plus Caitlyn Q to wave clear all the waves, which is the correct decision by them. The other team is playing quite well, like across the board. Everyone played pretty well this game. Although our Ziggs made a couple bad decisions early and ended up getting really far behind, which made his life really difficult. Unfortunately, Cho'Gath and Nocturne pick off Malphite at our blue, and without much reaction from Lee or Ziggs roaming. Nocturne is down here, so sorry, just Cho'Gath. I actually thought Nocturne was top, which is we were thinking about engaging there because I couldn't imagine Malphite having died solo. But it turns out that no one went to help him when Cho'Gath chased him down to our blue. So they are going to have a really hard time initiating on us with no long-range initiation except Nocturne ultimate, and no hard CC except Nocturne chains, but like no reliable hard CC. So we make a bad play here. Ryze is coming down through our jungle, so Kulik leaves the turret, and unfortunately we have to give up the turret because Ryze roamed through our jungle. And again, no reactions from our team makes this very hard. So at this point we're starting to think this game is turning around a bit. Their Ryze is making plays, and our team is not following up on them. Here we are able to sneak another dragon because they got low. They know they can't fight this. So they got low, and they're going to have to back off. And Malphite has roamed down again. So we're able to convert that turret loss, where they spent a lot to get that turret, a lot of time and effort, and we were able to push their lanes back out and position into a dragon for us, and sort of come out with something from that, which is a lot better than coming out with nothing. So again, pushing out this lane. I notice a fight going on over here, and Kulik is yelling at me to get the fuck over there. So I just jump the wall. I'm going to flash ult, but for some reason I just blank on the fact that Lulu has ult. Obviously my ult would have killed them there without a Lulu ult, but Lulu was on point with her shields, so obviously that was dumb of me. The creeps are giving Caitlyn vision here, so she can attack, but if we just trade right clicks, I will win that. At this point, I really want to go on this, but I get myself barrier baited like an idiot, and Lulu still has exhaust, so I'm not able to kill Caitlyn. And I just feed a death there. Very sloppy. Also, I have 3k gold in the bank. I'm much stronger than her theoretically, but with 3k gold in the bank, you're never going to be as much stronger than someone as you should be. Ryze also just came down and picked off Taric for free in the aftermath of that engage. And Ziggs tried to base instead of pushing the turret fast enough, so we have not gotten much damage on mid-turret yet. The Ziggs is not applying enough pressure mid-lane given how much Ryze is roaming. And part of it is that he is not ulting. Or not warding, sorry. Also not ulting. He should roam and try to use his ult to follow up on Ryze ganks, but like had he roamed down to here and thrown his ult under the turret while we were all fighting, it would have been a triple kill for him. But because he's not placing wards to check for Ryze's roam, he doesn't know where Ryze is at any given time, and he can't react properly to it. That's why you should try to keep this ramp and like the side brushes and like this side brush warded when you're mid lane. Ziggs dies again to a turret dive, but it's possible that I can clean things up here if they stick around. We know Nocturne ran out this way, so Lee Sin is able to get a good kick onto him. And I walk in and just start attacking. We get some damage, but with the Lulu ult, they're able to survive. Here, I jump past the Ryze, because if he kept running this way, it would have slowed him. And if he didn't keep running that way, I still get to hit him, because my range is long enough, and he has to just run back into my team. So even though it looked like I missed jump there, that was intentional. There, I jump just to get a little bit of extra damage. Malphite stays tanking this turret for no reason, and so he's going to, unfortunately, die here. Which was very sloppy, and I'm not able to, range owns me, and I'm not able to pick off the Nocturne, and am forced to jump out to avoid dying to Lulu and Caitlyn. I went a little too hard and screwed up my pathing. So at this point in the game, we are behind. A 7-3 Tristana is obviously great, and it's the only thing keeping us in this game. But with our team randomly diving turrets and just getting straight killed, like Ziggs did earlier, our life is going to be very hard. So we need to start making some plays, because we're losing turrets, shit is going bad. Here we are probably going to be able to pick off the Lulu though, and quite possibly the Kate as well. Because they stuck around too long, which is awesome for us. But Taric dies. I'm still running to get into this fight. Oh. I'm really sorry, guys. I'm developing a bit of a cough here. I think I talked too much last night. Played some really great solo queue games, so last night was really exciting. Here I'm just focusing the Cho'Gath. Cho'Gath is actually not very tanky right now. So I'm able to do that, and then I jump in and throw my burst onto the Nocturne, killing him with the damage over time from explosive shot, and picking up a second kill. When the other team tries to run through Malphite, Lee Sin, and Taric to get to me, I get to just free attack people, which is awesome. So as you saw there, my position, they never touched me because I just like stood way back and hit people, and just kept my positioning in the back of the fight. Here I'm going to pick up red buff and then base, and pick up red buff and then this giant wave bot and then base, because giant waves are awesome. Everybody likes getting giant creep waves. Explosive shot costing me a last hit. Stupid explosive shot. I wish you could toggle it. Somehow. Because it's already an active skill. But most of those like on-hit effects are toggleable because, like, you know, like Cho'Gath spikes or whatever, you can turn it off in order to not push the lane. Here we are needing to group up to defend mid turret because they're making a big push mid, so this is a big turning point in this game. Luckily I have Static Shiv Infinity Edge, which makes me very strong. I have good critical strike chance and good damage. And I'm able to do a lot of... obviously my range is high. At this point I'm starting to max Q, because and probably should have 2 points ago, honestly. I wanted 5 points in Q and 1 point in W, but misclicked once and then chose to level up W once during a fight, just for a little bit of extra damage. But getting 5 points in Q is obviously great for Tristana. It helps her a lot. Here I'm in a lot of trouble, but with the blocked Caitlyn ult, I'm able to ult away Nocturne and then keep fighting. Here I'm just trying to kite people around. So what I did in that fight is I just stood and fought Nocturne for the lifesteal, because there was no way that I was going to be able to run away from him. And then as the fight broke out, I got very, very low, but my team, with brilliant efficiency, was able to block the Caitlyn ult. Unfortunately, they are now ignoring my back pings and my typing that Ryze is behind them, and they're going to give Ryze... What the hell just happened? My video just skipped. Sorry guys, I'm going to go back a little bit. Okay. Actually, let's just watch that whole team fight again, just to make it a little more... I can talk about it, analyze it a little more closely. So we start with a good Ziggs bomb. Cho'Gath is on me because I face checked that brush, and they're almost bursting me down. But you see the ultimate from Malphite and my own lifesteal is able to, and the heal from Taric is able to save me. And then here I'm kiting around to try to bait Cho'Gath back into the fight. And thinking maybe I can get an extra attack on him from a very long range, but I see Ryze is beneath us, so I have to jump out because he's coming for me. And then I want my team to back up, but they are continuing to go hard, and they're going to dive this turret here. They do get the Lulu, but Caitlyn picks off Malphite, and then Ryze is behind them, and everybody's going to die. So Caitlyn picks up a double kill. I'm pretty upset at this point, because I feel like I'm trying really hard to carry this game, and my team is diving turrets with Ryze running up behind them. Ryze is by far the biggest threat on the enemy team, and Ryze carries really hard. So this is the point in the game when things are going to get really challenging for us, because Ryze has just picked up a bunch of kills. They've come back from a fight that we should have won very easily because we made poor decisions. I'm very close to Last Whisper. I just need 600 gold. And Last Whisper is going to help a lot because everyone on their team's building armor, since I'm 10 and 3. They do also pick up a free dragon. So I just need to farm up for my Last Whisper, ideally before the next fight. I'm also asking my team to just peel for me, because if they don't dive the enemy carry and just peel for me, I'm way stronger than Kate. I will out-damage the other team completely, and no one else on our team does damage because Ziggs is so weak. So all they have to do is peel for me. Everyone's job should be full-time peel for me, which my team starts doing, which is great, and also has a lot of good tools for doing. Malphite, ult, Lee Sin, kick, stun, Ziggs, bombs even. So at this point, Malphite has TP, so we can send Malphite bot to go clear that wave and start split pushing. I'm just going to stick around mid and try to get farm for my last Whisper. Unfortunately, I lagged slightly there, ended up walking into a Rise binding. Nocturne ults onto me, so what I do in that fight is I wait for the Shatter to break his spell shield and then ult him away. So that was a very good combo by me and Kulik, and we're just able to deny Nocturne completely. So we get Nocturne ult basically for free. I could also have jumped, but I felt that the ult would have been better because it also saved my teammates. Since he ulted, Nocturne made the right decision, he ulted the person in the far back, so even if the person he ults gets away, he's still behind someone and can still fear somebody else. Caitlyn walks in too far, gets stunned under turret, but I also step on a trap. But with a brilliant combo, Malphite ult from Malphite just walking up from bottom lane, and Ziggs ult, we get a bunch of damage, and then I'm able to just auto-attack. I jump in to try to pick off the Rise. He has Barrier, though, and also a Frozen Heart, so it's very difficult for me. I have to flash away from the Cho'Gath Rupture, and then I step back in, knowing that Cho'Gath has nothing. Lee kicks him back into me, and I'm able to clean up this fight. I also see Rise recalling down here, go for the jump and kill, to pick up a triple kill and a convincing fight win. So what we did is we just forced them to all run through my teammates and through our AoE combos in order to get at me. I step on another trap there. And then once they were finally about to land CC on me, I just jump away or flash away, ult them away, and start picking up kills. And that's how AD carry positioning works, and it's why Tristana is such a hyper carry, because she has both extremely long range and two excellent positioning tools. Right? She has her jump and her ultimate. And you can get multiple jumps off in a fight as long as you're picking up kills or assists, which is not that hard. Also, don't jump onto people ever. Even if you're going for a kill, jump near them into attack range or in a position where you can keep hitting them. Don't jump onto them because it puts you in a terrible position. So you'll notice that my jumps are almost always lateral to people, rather than jumping, you know, if Rise is the Nexus, rather than jumping from the spawn right onto the Nexus, I would jump more to over here where my mouse is, and then start attacking him from that corner so I can run a path alongside him and not be right in range. Here I decided to get a Quicksilver Sash because I know that Rise and Nocturne both hate me. And Rise is their main source of damage. As well, they have double AP with Cho'Gath and Rise. And Lulu is all magic damage, and Nocturne actually does a reasonable amount of, what am I saying? Nocturne doesn't do magic damage, but anyways, they have enough magic damage that the magic resist is going to be very helpful, and the Quicksilver itself is good. As well, I'm extremely rich, so I'm thinking maybe I'll get Mercurial Scimitar this game. Because that's a really good item when you have infinite gold. It just is never a good item in most games because you never have infinite gold. Here we catch Cho'Gath out. He's in a dumb spot and has no wards. He does get a good Rupture, but I'm still able to pick up the kill. I'm not getting many critical strikes in these fights. Notice how I'm stepping back and forth to trigger my Static Shiv more often. This both increases my damage output and makes it mixed damage. I was thinking of looping around here, but Lee just went in. So I'm trying to put damage on the Rise as the biggest threat, but instead Nocturne gets in too close, so I just put damage on Nocturne. I then ult Nocturne to try to finish him off. And then I jump over the wall to chase. We actually could have done this a little bit better. We made a couple sloppy errors in that fight. I went too far down and couldn't get back into position fast enough. As well, we didn't place a ward into the brush they were all standing in until very late in the fight, when Kulik was like, why don't we have a ward in there, and put one down. And had we had a ward there, we would have been able to win that fight much easier because they wouldn't have had brush advantage over us. Here we just call for tanking the turret so we can take some objectives as well. Malphite never TP'd during that fight because there was nothing to TP to. There were no wards. He could have TP'd to this one, I guess, but he decided to split push instead. Since they sent 2 bot to stop Malphite from split pushing, we're like, well, alright, we'll just stick around and take another turret. If there's 2 bot, we can just take another turret, no problem. Because my team has been making not always the best decisions, we've been doing weird split pushing things and not reacting perfectly to engages. I have decided by this point in the game that Kulik and I need to make all the calls for our team. We had a Nocturne ult, and then rather than just not using it, he decides that he needs to use it, so he goes super ham. And ults onto Tarek as the only person he can see, which is awful. You never want to do that. And then I just push him away, and we just win this fight because they have to run it through Zig's bomb and into my damage, and Nocturne wasted the team's only skill that's good for getting to Tristana. He just blew on Tarek. So they had literal nothing to stop me from just DPSing that whole fight, and I'm able to pick up another 2 kills. Because my team is forcing them to engage through my whole team to get to my positioning. Here, we just poke Ryze low to try to get the turret. Ryze gets too low, so I go in. I know I can do this because I have a Quicksilver Sash, so even if he roots me under the turret, I can still get out. And then we take the turret, and I hit the inhibitor a couple times, and then I'm like, they're up in 4 seconds, so we better peace out because they're going to have home guard boots. And sure enough, we're about to see someone come running up with home guard boots. Cho'Gath, I believe, has them. You gotta be a little more careful about continuing pushes since home guard boots were introduced into the game. So I'm 18-3. I now have a full Mercurial Scimitar. I'm going full offense because my team has 2 full tanks. Lee Sin is building full tank, as well as Malphite, obviously, and an off tank in Tarek. So I don't need defensive items because I've just been having very good peel this game, and my positioning has been very solid, making pretty sick plays if I do say so myself. At this point, the game is starting to be heavily in our favor, but even when I was like 9-3 or 12-3 or 16-3, the game was much more even than it should have been, because the other team was playing very well, and we were making odd decisions repeatedly. For instance, Lee Sin is often split pushing lanes where he shouldn't be, so he's like pushing bot right now, and we're going to head towards Baron, right? After the lane gets pushed out. So Lee's pushing out bot lane, which is great. So now he needs to come up to Baron. Instead, he's going to keep pushing, and they are going to send 2 people bot lane to defend against him. But had he been, or a person bot lane to go farm, had he been up here, we could have just taken the Baron. But since he continues to split push and not group, we are unable to do the Baron. So we could have sniped one. At this point in the game, we probably just want to group up and push mid. We're stronger than them as 5, and we don't want to get picked off or anything. We could have Malphite split push because he has teleport. But the easiest way to win is just to push mid or top. And pick off the open inhibitor. We see a Ryze flashing for Ziggs, which is fine, but the thing is, Ziggs doesn't actually do any damage right now. But my team is getting picked off. Cho'Gath has Rupture, so what I'm doing is I'm just holding my flash as long as possible, wait to flash the Rupture, and then I'm using my red buff to kite. We see a stun there on Nocturne as he goes too far, takes turret hits. I dodge that Rupture and go on Ryze, because Ryze is again the main threat. I use my Scimitar to chase him. He has Barrier, which I continue to not account for, but I'm able to pick off the kill anyways because I'm so fed. Obviously I went Last Whisper because they are building tons and tons of armor. Here I'm planning to jump this wall, but I fuck up. No one saw that embarrassing fail hop over the wall. So to make up for it, I decided to go get another Quadra kill or whatever. And I continue to chase Lulu, but because I don't have a Guardian Angel or a Randuin's or even a Bloodthirster, I can't solo dive turrets, so I just back off. Let her live. Meanwhile, Lee is split pushing middle, which is a good thing for him to be doing, since we won that fight, so he just goes to take mid turret, and I am running up to go take the turret with him. And we should, if we react properly, be able to take at least mid inhibitor and quite possibly top inhibitor as well. I hit Nocturne just to push him away from the inhibitor, jump to zone him, and then continue to attack the inhib. Here we are considering pressuring mid-turret, but instead we don't. I see the Shurelias, so I just alt-rise away from Taric, and then which isolates Lulu, and then I'm able to put a bunch of damage on Lulu. As Lulu backs off, I start focusing Cho'Gath, who's actually really squishy, although I do get hit by a Rupture. So I jump to a position where I can continue hitting people, like my plan is to jump there and just attack Nocturne. But since Nocturne just like runs away, I am able to just hit Cho'Gath instead. So my burn damage kills Cho'Gath, and then I'm able to pick off Lulu. We get a good Ziggs ult, and then I jump in to zone Ryze. Ryze didn't die during that fight, even though we got him very low. Ryze has actually been very good at escaping things. He's used his barrier to get out of things consistently and very well. And we should be able to close off the game here. The Nocturne ults onto Malphite for the kill, which is, you know, probably worth it for him. And we are able to take down a Nexus turret. I put damage on Ryze. It's actually a little bit scary. Ryze could easily kill me, even through my magic resist. Like, I used my scimitar already, but we stun Ryze, put damage on him. I throw my ult to push him away from me, and just back out. I get that damage, also end up at 25 and 3. And then, unfortunately, they did actually manage to hold because Ryze is so tanky. So, I need to back off. I decided to take their red since they have 2 inhibitors down. They can't do anything to stop me. They have to stop the pushes. So we can do free Barons, we can get free red buffs. Notice how I'm critting for 800. I'm being a little bit lazy about kiting around with my static shiv right now, which is bad play. You shouldn't do that. You should always step in between auto attacks when you have static shiv. And even when you don't have static shiv. I'm thinking of taking the wolf camp, but I decide we should just Baron. Kulik and I call for a Baron. I go back. I'm thinking probably just a Bloodthirster here that'll let me duel Caitlyn. You know, dual Nocturne. I also pick up Home Guard boots because they're the best late game boots. They help your map positioning and so on and so forth. And double pots. I'm 100 gold short of oracles, but I'm now maxed items. At 6 items, Tristana is probably the second strongest character in the game after Kog'Maw. So we're in really good shape here. They don't have enough hard initiate to stop me from attacking, and we have a lot of defense. And they don't have enough hard carry to out-damage me. Like, it's not conceivably possible for Caitlyn to out-damage me. So we're in really good shape. As well, we have 2 inhibitors down. My team is being really hesitant on grouping and actually taking the fucking Baron. But we finally managed to do so. It's times like these when I really miss Green Pot. Actually, it's all the time when I really miss Green Pot. A very early smite by Lee Sin, but it's okay because the Baron's completely uncontested, and now we can just push in to win this game. I like the Shurelia's initiation by Kulik there. He sees Ryze out of position. With Nocturne taking that stun, I'm able to just hit Nocturne. Cho'Gath flashes to silence me, but doesn't get off a Rupture or anything before I'm able to just jump out. I also still have Flash up. So I just use my Bloodthirster to sustain and continue kiting people around. I make sure that only one person can ever come at me at a time. So either Nocturne or Cho'Gath or Rise I will fight, but never more than one at once. Which is made possible by the fact that my team is zoning for me. So what my team does is they let one person funnel through them to me, who I then snipe down, just by out-damaging everybody. And they never have enough CC and damage at the same time to lock me down and kill me. Shout outs to Captain Complicated, who bought me Vi. That was awesome of him. Great dude. You should come hang out with him in the stream, because he's an awesome bro. And yeah, so that was a 26-3 Tristana game, showcasing the power of hypercarries and teamfight positioning, as well as team comp. I hope you enjoyed that commentary. If you're interested in the TeamSpeak, the things that I was saying during the game, you can go to twitch.tv/Ataran. I will highlight this portion of the game, and so you can find it under my highlights, and you should check that out. You should also just come check out twitch.tv/Ataran, because we have awesome fun times there. I will in fact be streaming later today, as of the recording and probably posting of this video, because I think it's going up, at around 2:30 p.m. EST. I will probably start streaming a bunch of ranked play, because we're doing ranked teams practice, and you guys should come check that out. And that will probably be fairly consistent Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 2:30 p.m. EST streams. So keep that in mind. Anyways, thank you for watching, guys. If you enjoyed the video, please feel free to comment, rate, and subscribe to my channel. As well, you can follow me on Twitter at twitter.com/atarangaming. And you can check out my Twitch channel at twitch.tv/Ataran. Cheers, folks, and GG.